And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Campfire. It is Tuesday here on MMOBuff. My name is Pseudo, and I am joined by the Campfire hostesses with the mostesses in sequin dresses and apparently American hats and glasses and very astute facial hair. We have Blank Space.
America.
And looking calm, confident, casual, with the ultimate glass of caffeine, we have Screenager, who's currently muted, which is brilliant.
Bah. We can't afford hats in Scotland. Hello, everyone.
And, of course, we are joined by our very special guest. This is Lonrem, who is from Anouk.com. And, in fact, he is our very first guest to have 2 Twitter accounts next to his name.
Oh, really? Hang on, let me look at this. Oh, I do. That's fabulous.
Yes,
Hey, guys.
you do.
And I've stolen my wife's hat. I apologize. I apparently caused a craze when I grabbed this. So.
Yes. We all had to... We all had to run around and find our various accoutrements to wear for today's show. So yes, first off, hello, it's lovely to be back. I have missed you trolling bastards. I really have. It's not like I haven't listened to all the things you've said about me when I haven't been on a show.
If you can't answer back, expect to be an easy target.
I would consider it to be weak to attack one who cannot attack back.
No, easy.
Easy. Well, now we know your definition. That's good to know. Right.
Oh, you should hear the shit I say about Black behind his back. It's fine.
There was that
America.
one time with the roadkill that you were telling me about. Yep. Definitely. And so apparently we have someone already commenting. Ron Gear has made mention it was a good idea for you to cover your hair.
I know where you live, dude. I know where you live. I will find you later.
Well, then you can go around there and get a haircut from him.
No. No. Navy. No. It all ends up buzzed, I'm sure.
There's nothing wrong with a buzz cut, is there, Blank?
Not at all. Had that for many years of my life. It's a very comfortable haircut. There's nothing wrong with that haircut. America.
I don't know what the hell has happened to this show today, but it's going to be brilliant. Right, so, what we usually do when we have our guests that come on, we put them through a test. And no, you keep that hat on for the entire show. You don't get away with it. Nice try. I'm going to try.
Not hiding a haircut.
Now I'm suddenly glad I took the bowl off my head.
Because he's got one on his. America.
Wow. Right. Knowing Blank, he probably will. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, Kassira. Right. So, what we normally do when we have a guest on is we troll them, and we do this in the best manner possible. We roast them in the campfire, because we want some more information about them. Yay puns, they're back. I'm sorry. I blame the concoction of stuff I'm on from the docks. So let's do this. Let's put you front and center, Lonrem. And it is now your turn. Before we start to grill you, I'm going to give you a little bit of a chance to introduce yourself, a little bit about your community, where you're from. Feel free to drop names. Feel free to drop, whatevs.
Well, I'm Lonrem from Anouk. I'm the community lead, the community manager, whatever hat I need to be wearing at the appropriate time there. Anouk is like the biggest. Well, okay, it's not the biggest. The best social media site out there for gamers. If you don't have an account, go sign up. I'm sure there's going to be links somewhere. But that's the long and short of it. MMOBuff is here. Blank Space is on Look. Who else? Dignitas is on it. We've got a lot of groups. We got a lot of individual users. Thank you, Blank Space. Aloha in the chat is in there. Wronggear is in the chat. Wronggear is a he. Sorry, is on Anouk. We've got everybody. We're building. We're growing. That kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's the long and short of it without getting into a long spiel.
Is it free?
It is free. It is free. Anybody can sign up. Communities can sign up and host your forums. No cost involved. Just come in, sign up. If you're wanting to really get involved, look me up on above Twitter accounts, and
It's actually
I will
below you
happily-
now.
Oh, now they're below me. See, I'm not even paying attention. And using one of those is a good way to get hold of me, and I'll happily get you guys set up. And thank you, Wrong Gear, for a shout out of Represent. And that'll get you kind of set up and associated with all the features and settled in proper, I guess.
Fantastic. And now that you've done that, now it's time to grill you. Time for the
Sure.
serious face, the really important part of the show where we take everything that comes out of your mouth literally. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
All right. I would like for you to tell us 2 truths, 1 lie about yourself. However, we're going to try to guess what the lie is, but you will never, ever reveal what the lie actually is. Now, if you make it incredibly bloody simple by saying that you're a banana,
No, nothing that bad. Okay, two truths, 1 lie. All right. What order to read these in? Okay, well, we'll just do it that way. I lived in 8 places before I went to college, so, growing up. I grew up in Japan, and then I will be at PAX Prime. So, one of those is a lie.
okay, screen, break it down.
Right, so
What do you think's a lie?
PAX Prime is definitely happening. I'm going with that. I'm going to nail that one down. The first one, I totally wasn't paying attention, so I'm going to go with grew up in Japan.
You lived in 8 places before.
Yeah, I'm going to go with grew up in Japan then.
Fair enough. Blank.
I am going to say it's either 8 places or Japan. So, I'm going to throw mine right on Japan. You moved a lot. That's my guess.
And I am going to
How
go
do we
out
know he
there.
moved a lot? Does the man have a face that looks like he needs to move around a lot?
Are you implying
it's
that's
just military
someone's
brat.
face? that made no
It was a
sense.
question, it wasn't an insinuation. Honest question here.
Because you never know. You never know. And so I took what I could recall from social media and picked the strongest
Are you
variable.
insinuating you did research this week?
I never do research. I just am a well-informed, plugged into my social media. I have a very
he
strong.
just rolls in at the last minute and saves the show. America.
That is normally what we do. Come in at the end of the show and save everybody. America.
Wow. I am so not going to touch up with the 10-foot pole. I myself am actually going to say you probably moved around a hell of a lot more than 8 and that you did actually grow up in Japan. So I'm going to say 8 is not the right number, and I'm going to say that that number is wrong, and thus that one is the wrong one. However,
Give us a number.
sadly, we will never know.
Never know.
Never will we know. And hello to you, Darth Laser. Hello to everybody, by the way, for joining us. Welcome to the Campfire. I've missed you. But now, enough about me. Let's go back to our guests, because I like grilling Lonrem. Are you ready for this one?
Sure. Tasty treat.
All right. Well, so let's take
Where
it
were my notes
to...
go?
I need my notes. I can't do a show without notes. But yes,
Yo.
let's go to the concept of 2020, hindsight being what it is, or at least something that we call hindsight is 2020. And you've been involved in gaming and communities for quite a long time. I even recommended if you needed to, you could go back to your playground days and come up with a story if that would help you. But we're curious to know, with all the experience that you have under your belt now, when you look back, what one decision do you wish you could just say, I wish I had the knowledge I had now because I'd do it differently?
Oh, it's easy. Back when I was first doing WoW, because everybody played WoW. People who say they didn't play WoW, they played WoW. Just going that far back, I was a guild officer in a raiding guild, and I didn't raid. Not by choice. I was just too busy. I was working and stuff like that. And so basically, I was, relied on to make decisions or to, for recruiting members, all sorts of stuff like that. But I wasn't involved in the key focus of the community. So, I mean, this can be one of those things that, goes beyond that. That is the lesson that I learned. But yeah, being an officer and not being involved in a community's primary function is not a good thing. And that caused a little bit of a scuffle, kerfluffle amongst our guild, and it didn't help. Didn't help our community at all. Be trying to make officer-ish decisions and not actually being involved in the day-to-day raid stuff.
One could actually... A book hat is brilliant, Screen. Excellent. We finally nailed a hat down for Screen. It is the poor man's hat.
This is actually... No, this is actually how they learn in Scotland. They put books and they absorb knowledge. It's very... If you notice this, this is how they... And in college, it's further because the heavier the book.
I'm just here. I'm just looking at the book.
Is it Aquaman? It's not Aquaman, is it?
Oh no.
Runaways.
Oh, okay. Looks like Aquaman.
America, we don't have books around here. I'm looking for one right now.
Wow. Right. Okay.
Oh, Candy, we're good.
My books are all on an electronical device. Well, not all of them, because I've got bookshelves there and I've got bookshelves.
And when the apocalypse comes, you'll have 3 hours of reading left.
No, that's fine. I'll just rob everybody else's houses so I can get my hands on their book. You heard it here, folks. The apocalypse happens. I'm coming for your books. Right. Hey, I'll come into your nook to get your books.
My soul!
My
soul! Oh, I'm so glad you're back. Oh,
No, you are
I have
not.
to say so much better.
I know you're sitting there going, God, can't she just go away again? It was so much nicer without her here. But anyway, let's move back on to you, Lonrem. So, the last question we have for you under the grill. What one moment, achievement, accomplishment in your entire gaming and community history stands out to you as one of the proudest for you?
Easily it was, and it actually works in context of our greater topic today. But I was at a convention and was chatting with some indie developers, and one of them looked at me and it's like, "Oh yeah, you're Lonrem from Anook," and I just had this moment of, I was done because Anook is a small thing, and I'm not exactly my face isn't plastered all over the community there or anything like that, and so it was just somebody actually recognizing me, and I was like, oh. I'm kind of astounded. He knows who I am, and he may remember me from last year, but whatever. Just that actual, being recognized and remembering, not just hey, I recognize you, but actually remembering where I was from and actually the name Anook being dropped, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And that was like on a professional level was kind of heartwarming, and I was like, oh my god, Anook is actually going somewhere and doing something. People are actually recognizing the name. So yeah, and I had a warm and fuzzy moment.
So how long has Anook been around?
Well, January 2012 is technically when the website was open. So I can't math right now. Come on, pressure is a 2.5 years. So
2 years,
Give or
8
take.
months.
Yep, there you go. Oh yeah, good lord, it is August, isn't it?
Hey, even the Americans can do math.
With my
That's
hands,
good,
with my
boy.
hands, with my hands. America.
Mark.
It's either
Wow.
Yep, it's either the fingers or the Terminators have got to do it for them.
Maths. Oh god, that's gonna haunt me. Stop trolling me about math, people. Wow.
It's just there. I mean, you've got a product of the Scottish education system showing you about your math abilities.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because of the
Yep.
fact that my accent is what it is, when I say math, people think I'm saying meth.
And now I was good until you mentioned it, and now I hear it. It's broken now. I will always hear it that way.
Forget it. From now on, I will call it arithmetic.
I
There we
You're gonna call
go.
it what?
Arithmetic.
Okay.
What did you think I said?
I
It's
don't
math
know.
for math for the old world, blank. Math for the old world.
That's what calculators for. Beep up things. So, kids
Wow.
over at the east.
You do realize this is why the Terminators had fingers so that they can count.
Wow.
Josie, get the show back on the road. What's going on? You've been back a whole day. Things are just falling apart.
Oh no, I'm letting you guys go because I am enjoying it. I am enjoying watching you guys. But yes, it is time for us to move on to today's topic. And for those of you who have been paying attention, it is all about keeping it IRL. Now, this is a very good topic because what's happening next week, guys?
Fuck all for you three.
Gamescom.
I am not beeping that out. Screw
Nope.
it. I throw my hands up at that. Yes,
Screw.
a Gamescom is happening, which is, I believe, actually the world's largest gaming convention. If I remember the numbers correctly.
DreamHack.
It's Europe's in terms of numbers through the door. Oh, I lost my hat. It is. I believe they did something like 750,000 people last year through the doors over the entire event. I'd have to Google that to confirm it. No one quote me on that.
All right. But yes, it is a convention, and this does mean that there are going to be a variety of communities that are going to be all like, hey, let's meet up. And Screen's going to ignore us today. However, that's a shame because I'm going to go to him first because he's trying so hard to hide his face. So anyway, Screen. One of the things I want to talk to you about is your experiences because I know for a fact that when it comes to gaming conventions, you participate in them along with various members of your community because I've bloody met you at one and had dinner with you. And
I tried to run away. She wouldn't go.
That is so not true. I had to protect myself and my guildies from flying those the coasters that you put your drinks on. They were bloody flying across the room.
That was boon control. Those numbers were real. We don't know which members of boon control were for though. All I'm saying is you weren't guaranteed what they promised when they wrote those numbers down.
Okay.
I have no idea what's going on here.
There were some interesting offers written down on the bottom posters.
We'll get into this, definitely. But what I want to ask you about, Screen, because I know for a fact that you have experience, you and I have met face-to-face at 2 conventions now.
You're not counting with your fingers at all there, American.
No, I'm trying to...
I can see the fingers.
I'm trying to grasp onto the concept in my brain.
Go do your math.
Arithmetic. But no, we've met face-to-face at 2 conventions. So I want to start with you. Let's talk a little bit about your experiences taking Afterlife out from behind their monitors and into the real world.
Yes.
And let's hear a little bit about some of your stories that you've been through. And then the rest of you guys are next.
Some stories. Well, why don't we start on what conventions or real-life meetups Afterlife have had. That's probably a good place to start. So Afterlife have been around for roughly, 6 years or so. I'm not going to do the rest of the arithmetic, but we've been together upwards of 6 years, and we've had roughly 3 large-scale meetups. We've had a couple at Gamescom, and we've one at Eurogamer in the UK in London. Gamescom is probably our most consistent meetup that we have. We tend to schedule them around games conventions, the reason being that we've got people there. We usually get friends that we've got going there from outside of our direct community. It gives people time to come together. It allows them to book time off and take it as a holiday if they want, and it's a relatively central European destination, so although people have to travel, everyone has to travel. we've had one meetup at Eurogamer, what's smaller. That was the London Expo. That was to try and give people within the UK an opportunity to meet up. And yeah, there's a huge amount to talk about, but it's a great experience to actually get to meet the people from behind the monitor. And games conventions are a fantastic way to do that.
I've had both good and bad experiences, but we're going to continue on because we want to start with the good, because we will be getting into the, I believe it's
really bad.
I believe it's the, what is it? And this has to have
Stinky
come from
people.
Blank. The good, the bad, and the sweaty unwashed. We'll get to a little bit later. So you'll have to stick around for that one. But yes, let's move on to Blank. Real life meetups, my man.
Well, for some folks, I want to distinguish something here before we continue going forward. We're going to be discussing the community aspect. Maybe there is a portion here that we might also briefly touch on the commercial part of stuff. I do believe that we are going to talk mostly today about the community aspect, but I do want to mention that for people like myself or any of us that are here, there is an aspect of going to these conventions that
To drink.
is, to drink, but is also for getting to
Drink.
network and talk with community
1 second,
managers.
Blank. Screen, shush.
What?
It's his turn. You've had yours.
Boo.
Yeah.
Let him
yeah.
speak.
So,
This is what happens when
this-
Amy's not there to keep him in control. You know that's what's going on.
right. Not there. Yeah.
There it is. The
So-
bowl on the head. Yep, there you go. Go ahead.
So, for somebody in our positions, we're speaking to representatives of organizations that we're looking to do things with, whether it's to play their game, try their alpha, make new friends, network with other folks, try something new in an area like last time I went to PAX East, I spent some time actually checking out card games, which I had never done, and actually gave some good advice to somebody about kickstarting because I had that experience. We're going to stay away from that and stick more towards the community part. The cool part about community get-togethers is if you do your prep work before, it's an enjoyable experience for everybody. Don't go into a community meetup without preparing for it. There's going to be those people that are anxious. There's going to be those people who they used every dollar bill and to get there, and if you go outside the budget, their minds are going to explode. Be cognizant and aware of these sort of things as you prepare to set these events up. Yeah, we will talk a little bit about stinky, unwashed people, but that's later. So
yes, a good experience from your get-togethers with people, Blank.
a good experience, get-togethers?
Yeah.
Goodness, there's like a bazillion of them. There, I'll give you the last fun, crazy one. We had got done with the WildStar meetup, which was at this teeny tiny, redonkulous little bar in Boston. And when I say teeny, I mean like somehow. Oh, and one of these days, I'm gonna get the guys to let us do an events, like the commercial events part, so I get to like laugh at people. Somebody planned this event in half of a bar, and like the other side was like people could just walk in. So they had free drinks on our side, and then the other side were just these locals who were like, "Hey, bud, what the fuck's going on over there? Well, free drink. Well, we're gonna come the fuck over, dude. Like, hey, bud." It was crazy. So it started there, and then the night ended up at I think it was like an Intel party, which we ended up getting into the VIP, which was on top of this huge crazy foam pit, whatever thing. It was awesome. Somehow we all ended up back at the hotel, and life was good. Oh yeah, and last thing I will say is sometimes conventions are what happens at conventions.
It just stays at conventions.
Just.
Okay. Now see
So
now
we're.
that's.
I think I've slated that further down the notes there, Blank, for later, so we can.
Yeah,
Not talk
yeah.
about that later.
Yes. Excellent. So now we're going to move on to Lonrem. And here is where I say to my lovely hostesses with the mostesses with the awesome sequin dresses that you two have, it's his turn. Okay? Just want to get that in there before we go any further. Right. Now, You have given us a little bit of information about what you do with Anouk, but what is your actual gaming history? I mean, you did Raiding Guild. We got that from you, but have you done more in the community? Have you just always been an MMOer? Did you ever be in a clan?
No, all my stuff has always been, MMO related, up until I started working with Anouk, and then I started to poke around at actually joining and being involved in communities outside of MMOs. And mostly I did MMOs because that's where my friends were, and of course once you have that guild, then it continues to grow, and those are the people those people you hang out with. That's my experience. But we never did the guild that we had. We never did any real life meetups. So we did talk about it numerous times because somebody had a plot of land. Oh yeah, everybody can come out. Never happened. And yeah, I'm probably sure that was probably the better idea, knowing the guild that I had. But no, it's all been MMO stuff, and I really haven't had a community outside of that until Anouk, and now I have this ginormous community, and I haven't met up with some folks from that, but that will be something to look into in the future. Well, who knows? AnoukCon, maybe.
Anouk.con. Okay, I'm really bad. I apologize profusely for myself today. I am really sorry. Bit the Dog pointed out something that's rather interesting, and I want to bring it in before we move on to the next topic because it's a very short statement. He said, LAN parties, that's where it's at. There is something amazing about small get-togethers. Conventions are definitely someplace where you can get together with your guild. For example, when we first started up the Campfire, I told you one of the most memorable experiences for me was getting Enigma to Gamescom. There were like 27 of us there across like 5 different apartments, and it was mind-boggling. We had people who were flying in one night and out the next. It was like this mad rush, and it was such an amazing experience for me. But there is also something to be said for, hey, let's get together because it's somebody's birthday party. We had that happen just recently. A bunch of people went to Budapest in order to celebrate somebody's birthday. Actually, it was 3 people who were having a birthday. So it was just everyone get together and party. But when you do LAN parties, you're in control of the environment. When you go to a convention, ooh, shiny. Did anybody see where Deborah went? Does Deborah have her phone? No, John has Deborah's phone. Fuck. Really bad things can happen if you do not plan well for a convention. So I'm not going to reiterate my awesomenesses and stuff other than the fact that I will tell you Gamescom literally changed my life. Because it went from I'm a gamer to I have a gaming community to I have gaming community beyond just simply Enigma. I know people out there and they have the same kind of mindset. Like they like games. They like to geek it up. And the best part about it is when they get absolutely wasted, most of them don't remember what they told you. And you get stories. And those stories can be collected and used in the future as black...
That never happened. That never happened. That never happened. Never happened. Never happened.
Sure.
It stays at convention. And it's true though. There are other things. There are other types of meetups other than conventions.
Absolutely.
I know guilds that take holidays together. I know guilds that have holidays up at a member's house. Like you say, that I know people that have are part of my community that have LAN parties with other locality people that are local to them. What else have you got? You've got and you've got conventions as well. I don't know of any other specific type of organised meetups beyond those, but there's a lot of guilds that have been around for a long time that have tended to move. It tends to be guilds that are more social than they used to be. I don't see it in competitive guilds or progressive guilds as much, but in social guilds you tend to see a lot of guilds will take holidays after they've been together for a while, or will take or have holidays up at a member's house or location. And like you said, Pseudo, there's different aspects to that. When you have an environment that you control, like a LAN party, or even in a holiday, it's a lot less chaotic than something like a convention. Convention what happens when you're planning for a guild meetup at something like a convention. The environment's so chaotic that you have to ensure that you plan for all eventualities. Whereas something like say a general guild meetup, say everyone's coming to, say, London, for example, to go to the pub, right? Generally, as long as you know that everyone knows where to be, you got a couple of people's numbers, you know everyone's got a hotel, people can take care of themselves generally. It's in a convention when a lot of people are going to a completely different country, when you've got hundreds of thousands of people in one place, you pretty much have to have a schedule. If you're in charge or you're the community lead, you are basically herding cats all weekend.
Okay, now see, I have to pull something out here because there's two things that you mentioned. One, I'm going to pull on Blank for because I want to get his opinion, where you were stating that the more competitive guilds don't seem to have meetups, and I saw him make a face, and I want to tap him on that.
I said holidays, not meetups.
Fine, fair enough.
No, there's a distinct difference.
I know, but I still want to
give
give Blank a chance to respond to it because he's been involved in the really competitive sides of things, and I'd like to give him a chance to speak on that. However, I have to tell you, as someone who has actually been a part of the organization of a community getting together at a convention, there is a damn fine line you must walk between, oh my God, you are making my schedule so strict, I don't ever want to hang out with you again because you're just this whipcracker, you're trying to control my free time, I paid for this journey, I shouldn't have to do anything whenever you tell me I need to do it, versus the, well, why aren't we doing things together on a daily basis?
It's my ex-wife. She just my ex-wife.
I don't want to remind you of her. That just makes me feel bad. Damn. But there is an incredibly delicate line that has to be walked. And it almost, this is that situation where as a leader of communities, an organizer of events, and Lonrem, I'd love to also get your feedback on my part after this, after I let Blank make a comment about the other, I was about to say the professional side of gaming. Yay. But when it comes to actually organizing things, you have to go and be much, much, much more involved with the development of a game designer. You have your audience telling you, we need this, we want this, and if you give it to them, they throw a conniption fit. Because you gave them what they asked for, but it was not enough, and you should have done more. Or, the other side, you should have done less because they asked for a strict schedule and they blew it up in your face. It is a very delicate line to walk. So, I will tell you right now, be prepared for both sides of the equation, and those people who sit in the middle who are just apathetic and go, I don't really care, I'm here. Woo. So, Blank, just real quickly, if you wouldn't mind commenting on the...
Hardcore organizations do get together, and again, this is where I swear I'm gonna smash y'all out of this box you live in. MOBA players are at this huge junction getting together in gaming places. The heck with a LAN party, they are living together. Let's have a gaming house. We all live in like it. It's a thing, especially for aspiring kids. I've heard of a bunch of them who are East Coast, West Coast, even down south, Texas, Florida, and that's that next level thing for me. I did want to say that for the Burning Crusade, I was in a hardcore organization where everybody that was east of the Mississippi all made it up to Boston. We rented out I don't know what to call it to you. It's like a VFW hall. It's like a place for events. We paid Time Warner Cable, who was the biggest at the time, man, and we all had like separate places to sleep, and everybody donated for food, and everybody power leveled on up, and then slept, and then kind of went on their way. That was kind of the coolest like get together, other than a convention that I've ever done, because it was different than like a LAN event where you're getting in a van with a bunch of people and you're going to this one hotel room. You're competing. You don't want to lose. You get back, you sleep, and or just go back home. It was more of a really cool social experience, and I wish there was a way for those things to happen more often because they're super cool.
Immersion? Would you consider
there's just like, well, you're playing the game, but instead of like, you didn't have your flipping headphones on. Nobody did. Like, you're like, hey, dude, what's up? I'm stuck behind you. Well, don't be so sucky at this game. Like, it was really cool to be in a space with people, and then also be like, all right, dude, I've been here for 12 hours. My ass hurts. Like, who wants to go make some sandwiches and, talk crap about the guild leader, whatever. Just like, and you could, instead of hopping in a TeamSpeak channel, you were able to just like go grab a sandwich. It was one of the cooler. Yeah. Instead of a TeamSpeak room or like a Ventrilo room, it was an actual room. Like, go outside for a walk, and I think out of all of my like get together experiences, that one will always resonate with me the most because it was pretty unique and very cool. So.
And you, Lonrem, have you done the organization of events, of get-togethers?
No, no, nothing beyond small stuff. I remember doing a big LAN party for 16th birthday, 15th birthday, and just we went to one of the local, they don't have them anymore, but internet cafes, sat down, and me and 6 or 7 friends from sundown to sunup played Counter-Strike, Unreal, just whatever shooters, whatever was loaded on the program, and just played through the night. And then the sun came up, and we're like, okay, we're going home, and we were out. So it was a shorter thing, but no organization there other than, hey, let's go. So,
well,
nothing yet, at least.
So if you have any questions for the three of us, since all three of us have spent time organizing mass get-togethers of a variety of sizes, variety of purposes, and a variety of places, now's a good time to ask us some questions. Especially since you've gone from, hey, we're a little people, hi, you remember me, I'm a Nook, to someone recognized you. So, yeah, do you have any questions that you might want to ask us?
Not off the top of my head, but I think I have all your contact information for the future. It's like, okay, guys, crap. What do I do?
Aww.
I lost somebody. What do I do? Call the police. I already did that. What do I do next?
No, you do not call the police when you lose somebody.
You just let them show. Okay.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna troll. Not even gonna troll. I on the casual side of things. Oh my god, did I just describe a get together as casual? I did too. I'm that asshole. We got our hardcore get together. We're telling each other. Okay. Let me explain my toolbox when it comes to these things. Allow flexibility, but have structure. So real simple. If somebody disappears, if you've set up a structure, right? The easiest thing is to be like, 9 o'clock, we're having breakfast. If you don't catch us by 10. Meet us at the convention. We're all going to go see this thing at 10. We're going to roam the floor until noon. Noontime, we're having lunch. Hook up with us at this general area for lunch. You kind of give everybody an understanding of what the day looks like. So if somebody's like, hey, I'm going to go make out with my nerd husband over here for 3 hours, then they can meet up with you at noon. It's not a big deal. But at the end of the day, I always suggest having like a head count. You just check with people, make sure everyone's back where they're supposed to be, especially after all the drinking and stuff. Everyone's home, everyone's in their beds, everyone's good. Or at least, yeah, that guy went home with that girl. We're not going to see him till tomorrow. Do your head count in the morning. Literally, other than that, like, you should be good. Keep a nice loose schedule and don't
phone numbers,
freak out.
Phone numbers.
I'm going to totally pick up on a question that's come in from our chat because it's, in my opinion, very important. Raging Biscuit would like to know, how do you make a shy person who actually is very chatty on TeamSpeak but shy because of their appearance to join a convention? Or more on point, what do you think about the dual personalities that gamers usually have? Now, I'm going to go through some of the experiences that I have had, and this is where I'm going to steal a line from Blank. I'm going to get real. I'm going to let you inside a little bit of my life and some of the things that have happened and why it is so important that if you do get together, you have people who have some kind of like mind or willingness to trust somebody who's in the group. Because if you do not trust the people you are getting together with, you should not be getting together with them. There needs to be some foundation of trust. And I'm stressing that because I've seen situations where people have gone into full-blown panic attacks because they showed up and they didn't trust the people and they didn't know what to do. They were so confused. I've seen somebody break down. I don't ever want anyone to experience that. It is not something, honestly, if you just feel even the littlest tinge of, I don't trust even one person in this group, don't do it. Don't do it just to be part of the cool kids. Trust me, it's not worth your sanity. It is not worth your mental health. But when you have somebody who is shy, who may enjoy really talking on TeamSpeak, but in person they are kind of like withdrawn, they sort of sit back, they don't want to get actively involved, try to figure out if that's actually going to be an issue ahead of time. One of the things I've done, and I've gotten together with multiple groups on multiple occasions, is I will pull people aside individually and say, hey, are there any concerns that you feel safe or comfortable telling me that I need to know about? Like, should we avoid places that serve fish because you're allergic to it? Or do you need to make certain that we always have you walking with another guy next to you because you'll feel safer than having girls walking with you, or vice versa? What is it that I need to know to ensure that you are going to enjoy yourself? And believe me, nothing you say will leave my lips. I may organize things and people may wonder what the hell is going on in my brain, but understand that I'm trying to make it enjoyable and make it safe for everybody. And in the end, I have had people open up and go, right, I have anxiety issues. When I get in a big group of people that I don't know, I get really terrified. Can you do me a favor and make certain that I am wherever this particular group where these 3 people are scheduled, whether it's to the zoo or whether they're going to the convention or to a pub or to lunch, can you make certain that I'm with them and make certain it's okay and that I'm not, imposing on their time, etc. More times than not, it works out beautifully. But you have to know your members, and you have to lay down way in advance a level of trust for them to be able to open up to you as the organizer. Now, this is not to say that you need to turn into a therapist, because that's not, you can't do that. But I found in one particular get-together, somebody who had the same social issues that go through my brain. And we spent like 6 hours one night talking about them. And then in the end, we just decided, we'll just stick together. And it was amazing. And to this day, the woman, I still worship the ground she walks on, because she, in my opinion, is one of the bravest individuals I have ever met in my life for taking the risks that she has taken. And I just love her to bits and pieces. But yeah, so there you go. So how do you handle the dual personalities?
Right, well, I'm going to nip back to what you were saying, Sarah, just quickly before the whole dual personalities thing. You were suggesting that people try and find out ahead of time. Now, one of the tools I tend to use are, honestly, I tend to try and keep our community on Facebook as well. Honestly, that's actually a great tool for exposing a bit more people's personal profile beyond your guild forums. Gives people a chance to personally meet people face to face, to internet work within if you've got different games and different guilds within a community, to get to know who people are and get an understanding of who they like and who they dislike. It gives you a good way as a leader or a community lead or an organizer of being able to pick out people who might act differently on their own social media with their own direct interactions to people as they might do on your TeamSpeak, and spot those personas. I also do feel that it is relatively good. I know we said have flexibility, but it's relatively good to be very forward if you go into something big, for example, or even something small, but being very upfront about what you're going to be doing. So should you be going to a convention, obviously it's common sense you're going to be somewhere busy, but saying things like organising rooms, being pretty upfront about, sleeping arrangements if people are sharing rooms, or speaking to people to understand if they want, giving people the choice to be able to, for example, have their own room or share a room. And you don't necessarily need to say, anyone who feels uncomfortable sharing a room can have their own. You can say anyone who's got a bit more money can have their own room. You don't, you just need to be sensible about these things, allow people options, and be clear about what you're doing, so that people can understand the situations they're in. If someone's capable of flying cross-continent and getting on a plane, they're going to be able to assess a situation and think, I might not feel comfortable amongst 100,000 people in a convention centre. So, and then they'll be able to go to you, well, I'm not going to come to this bit and this bit, but I'll split off with some other people and I'll come back and meet you later. And I've had that with people. I've had someone who dropped in with another guild and went along with them somewhere else and then came back because they were getting on with them. And that's partly down to being flexible and partly because they knew what we were doing. So they had some control over what they were doing, and all we had to do was touch base, like Blank said earlier. But I knew ahead of time that was probably going to be the case because I've utilised things like Facebook and other social media to be able to kind of touch base with them. So get to know people and use the tools you've got before you go ahead and do that. And I completely lost, now my mind's gone in a different direction, I completely lost track of what you were saying, Sarah.
Basically, lay down a foundation of trust ahead of time, ask people, and...
The question you asked.
See, I don't even
You've forgotten as well, haven't you?
You know why I've forgotten it? Do you know why I've forgotten the question?
Fire on the train. Fire on the train. Blame everything on the fire and my train station.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yeah. No.
What is it about? They.
You know what it is?
You too.
I can tell you exactly what the problem is with today.
Oh yeah?
Kids today? With kids today.
It's nothing to do with kids. No. See, the problem today is that we have a very big topic and very limited time.
Black wants to keep talking.
I just looked at the
Fired.
time.
Fired. Let me throw some. I'm gonna take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because this is something that's near and dear to my heart. Healthy gamer stuff. We talk to people about healthy gamer. Everyone's like, oh, it's all about the sun and guns. Healthy gamer is also about this sort of stuff too. I have, and I'm not going to name who it is, but there is somebody in my community who has some anxiety being around people, and they had a chance to go to a gaming get-together and was able to feel comfortable even though sharing how nervous and anxious that they were, and was able to go through the whole time and is now actually excited to go to the next one, which is actually coming up here shortly. The reason this sort of stuff is really important to me is because as much airs as I do put on, I'm also, you want some real, I'll take the hat off because I do want to be real for a second. I have anxiety being around people. I want people to like me for who I am. I think that everybody has these sort of things. But if you don't rely on the people around you that you can trust and have to lean on, then, oh my God, can you mute your microphone when you're typing? God, I'm going to smash your keyboard. I'm going to smash your stupid Scotch keyboard right now. So
Excuse me a minute. Excuse me a moment.
Mute that real quick. Because this is a chance for people to have personal growth. This is a chance for people to learn a coping skill and or accomplish something that they walk away with. It might be something small, like I was able to share my feeling, or I was able to go into this place, or I was able to meet somebody new. Maybe they might even find their own personal identity there. But the best thing I want to say is to try and support them, and you do that by exactly what Ed and Josie said, learning about them before, knowing who they are, and having that dialogue as you're going. Don't let people be quiet in the corner. Don't be like, hey, listen, what's up? What's going on with you? How are you doing? Do you need a break? You don't have to. I'm not going to say you have to kiss everybody's ass. People need to be, strong, but you can be strong together. So that's what I gotta.
And here is where I go through and I reveal and get real, taking my hat off because I like following Blank Space opinion today.
You're gonna throw it.
Do you know how much it hurts for me to do that right now? There.
Oh.
Even shook the damn camera. Ow. That really hurts. Thanks, Blank.
Suck it up, America.
I moved.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, when it comes to dealing with any kind of issues, I don't know a single person who doesn't suffer from some kind of anxiety issue on some level. Whether it's publicly speaking, whether it's meeting people they've never met before, whether it's not finding themselves surrounded by people who really hurt them, or finding themselves surrounded by people who really don't like them. what it comes down to is every single person has issues. I mean, we've all got magazine racks full of them. Doesn't mean you have to let them interfere with having a good time. If you need a buddy system, make a buddy system. In fact, implement one. Do whatever it takes. I myself have my own issues when it comes to dealing with society. And I used Gamescom of last year to overcome a huge portion of them. I was able to do it because I trusted the group I was with. And do you know what goes through my mind occasionally now, guys?
No.
Get out of my way.
No.
I'm a badass now?
I am definitely not a badass. Are you kidding me? No. What goes through my mind on occasion, for example, these past 3 weeks, I've been really ill. But what goes through my mind is, I made it through Gamescom. I can make it through this.
Yeah, you're a badass now. That's exactly what he said.
I'm not
You have the badass card.
No.
No.
Does that make me a badass?
Right.
Yes. Once you get just a little, what everybody needs. When
Okay,
everybody is
there's a difference between badass and confidence. You start to...
No,
you
it's
start,
all the same.
You start to... Oh boy, we're going to get into psychology, and we definitely
It's
don't
all
have time
the
to
same.
do... We don't have time for psychology.
Okay, all right, wait,
Hold on.
stop. Nope, you're fired.
It's
You're fired.
Lonrem.
You're fired. You're still fired. You're fired.
Lonrem. He hasn't said anything.
No, that's my question. So, Lonrem, you went to a convention, right?
Sure.
And somebody was like, I know who you are.
Right.
That made you anxious. How did you respond to that?
Dude, I was hyped. I was excited. There was no nervousness about it.
Now, what do you think that next?
Full of it.
What do you think that next step is for you? What do you think that next step is? Because I just went through this recently with people knew me professionally one way, and now they know me another, and this whole community thing is crazy because people are like, "Hi, Blake Space," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, hi." And it's wicked overwhelming. So what is the next step for you? Like what are you expecting? As a Nook grows, you as a personal brand are also going to grow. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about these get-togethers where you're going to be the broski in charge, dude? Because it's all fun and games here, but when somebody's like, "Oh, I went to the Nook get-together, that sucked, it was terrible," that would be on your shoulders, like.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to it, man. But no, I'm stressed out. But the plus side is, I've got guys behind me. I've got the rest of the team. I'm not, I'm the top community guy, but I've got the rest of the crew. So I can share the load and the blame. So if stuff does go wrong, it's like, man, that did suck. But who was really in charge of that?
Oh, now see, that's unfair. What you should be is like, yeah, it sucked. We'll do better next time. Own up to it. If you've done something wrong, just own up to it. Just be like,
well, I mean,
didn't get it right that time. Give me a chance. Let's try it next time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's half of what we end up doing on the website itself is oh yeah, that doesn't work. Let's get it fixed, and I will come back to you and let you know when it is fixed. That way we listened, we heard, and we fixed it. Which, hey, pull that out of a game dev, blog. Just because, I mean, same kind of stuff.
Yeah. I agree.
So when will we see a Nook get together? When?
Are
you going to PAX?
I am going to PAX.
You just revealed something from.
I didn't say which one.
I'm just.
When are we going to see a Nook at PAX? Not you, a Nook. When are we going to see a Nook at PAX?
I don't think a Nook will be at PAX for a little while. We're still getting the ball rolling on some stuff, but we definitely want to be there. I know at PAX South, we will have a semi-official capacity over at the Gigantic booth with the Motaga guys. We'll be hanging out with them for a little bit. Don't know how often, don't know how long, but we will definitely be there. Yes. And I'm going to take a moment here to be serious. Screw you, Blank, for being up in Seattle. Moving on. I'm looking forward to, because the cons I've done previously have been really, really small, really local kind of things with like indie devs. So going to PAX South and having a lot more folks, a lot bigger games. I'm super excited and mildly stressed. Now, fortunately, I get to, I have an awesome wife who's also a gigantic nerd, so anytime it's like, okay, I need to pull away, and then it's like, okay, tell me everything's going to be okay, and then she just gives me this look. So, yeah, I have a very close personal support system.
You need
but,
it.
Yeah,
need
and that's.
I've got something for you. If Anook or members or representatives do make it to PAX Prime, I will have an entire room as a part of Twitch. So if you guys would like to come hang out there, we would love to have you. Viking Nation would love to have you. We're going to have our own little meetup. I'm not sure the time or date, but you guys are more than welcome to come hang out if anybody from Anook is there. And as soon as I have the information from Twitch, I just signed another "we're going to use your picture everywhere" thing today. So if you guys are there, feel free to, I'll tweet it out and you guys can come along. That would be great.
Awesome. That would be cool.
Right. So what we're going to do is we've been talking an awful lot about a lot of things, and what we're going to do is not try to keep people much later past 9, because unfortunately my concoction of stuff from my doctors is wearing off, and I'm starting to see in colors that should not exist. So I want to throw something out to you, because what we do is we let our guests get some bragging in. We let them tell people and offer links to communities they want to support, links to different things that they want to talk, even the companies that they are with, we let them just go on about. Now, I'm going to actually answer a question that was asked, and I'm going to then give you a chance, Lonrem, to step up to the plate, because this is something that I wondered as well. Anook is a really good community. I'm a part of it for myself. We have our own MMO buff stuff there, and as you know, most of the people here do as well. I'm looking at you, screen. Anyway.
Is that all I have to say as a response?
And one of the things that I found fascinating about Anook is that they don't just have your individual profile pages, which is sort of like your wall from Facebook or Twitter or MySpace. Taking it back. Oh, I could go to Orchid. We could make it really old school. But anyway, you have that. But you can also set up nukes for companies. For example, if you go to anook.com/company/MMObuff, who do you think you're going to see?
It's MMOBuff.
It's
and
MMO
all sorts
Buff.
of crap.
And all
well,
kinds
not
of
crap.
things.
Excuse me. All sorts of stuff.
How dare you, sir? I demand a public apology with pink elephants and purple snakes. I don't know why, but that's what I demand. But anyway, not Orchid, Orkut. ORKUT. Very old school social media. But what it comes down to is, if you're an independent developer, should you put yourself on a nuke? And
sure.
I say hells yes. Hells yes. There's no reason to not be there. The community is so vibrant. It is amazing. You will get feedback whether you want it or not. The hope is you want it, because indie developers should have it. Yep. But I would say hells yeah. I'm assuming you agree with me.
I do. And we've actually got a couple different indie guys. Gigantic. They're working on it. But we've got Rat Game. They're old school first-person shooter. Very original Doom-esque. George Romero. Wait, not George Romero. John Romero. John Romero. Checked them out and actually thought they were really, really astounding up at QuakeCon. We've got Digital Tribes. They've got a bunch of their different games and stuff like that. Very indie publisher kind of stuff. And then those are the big ones off the top of my head. We've got Aztez. We've got Avalon Lord. So there's already some indie developers who are already on the site and already using it. And that'll give you an idea of what you can do and set up. Aztez is just barely getting started, so they don't have much. Avalon Lords has got umpteen months of dev blogs on their site. So there's a lot going for indie developers, and the community, the company, I should say, is devoted to backing up all game developers, so AAA or indie, and I've made it my personal mission to get as many indie guys on the site as possible. So yeah, my Twitter stuff wherever it is, look me up, and I will happily come chat, and we will get you set up and get you some exposure and some feedback and all that. I mean, we can't do everything for you, but yeah, for indie guys, definitely look us up.
Excellent. So, do you have any other things that you might want to share with us link-wise?
Yes, I want to brag. Let me brag. We've got the Anook Community Spotlight is a big thing. That is my home on Anook. So any stuff like that. So if it's a big convention going on and we're going to have some kind of Anook presence there, or if we just know that a bunch of our users are going for London Comic-Con, whatever it was, London Comic-Con. We weren't able to go, staff weren't, but somebody was like, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to find Anook people, and we said, okay, cool, here. And we shoved it up front and tried to get as many people to know about it as possible. And all that stuff is going to happen there at the Community Spotlight stuff. So that's where also our events are happening. Like this Saturday, we're going to be chatting with everybody. Anybody's welcome to come and stuff like that, but specifically chatting with streamers and talking about how to use Anook, feedback from them, stuff like that. I knew Blank Space is going to be there. We've got a couple different people. I think Miss Suda says she will not be able to join us, sadly.
I wish I could. I really, really do. It breaks my heart. Can't you make it Sunday?
I was to say, maybe next time. Maybe, yeah, because I do want to.
I can be there on a Sunday. I work Monday through Saturday. I can do a Sunday.
Okay, we'll have to do a Sunday one for you, and we'll
no one will show up. They'll be like, it's her fault.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't. You're not even looking at like a bunch of faces. I do get in there and I play some games, so you can watch me fail repeatedly and laugh about it, and it's terrific. Last time, I may or may not have promised to dye my hair when Anook goes full time and has its full release. So who knows what terrible, stupid stuff I might say this Saturday. But so yeah, there's that to definitely check out. We've also got the development blog, which is more kind of general information. So site maintenance, new updates, new features, which we are rolling out. If you do happen to go by the site, we are not done. The beta little logo up there is legit. Stuff is buggy. We want to hear your bug reports. New features are coming. Small staff, small development speed, but we're starting to speed it up. But yeah, that's kind of the general Anook stuff. The cool stuff going on right now, we've got an entire events calendar, and that's just every global event that's going on Anook. So for you indie guys, if you're doing a special stream, if you're doing a Kickstarter, anything like that, if you're actually on the site and you put the event up, and I'll show you how, just contact me, we'll actually get you set up and front and center, and that'll be on a global calendar so everybody can see it whether or not they're following you. The other thing is...
Do you have a link for that? Because I know you have links.
I do. Somebody posted one before for me. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
sorry,
so now you decided to get lazy.
Well, I'm so used to in streams, I'm not allowed to. So that's linked there, which is going to be a little late because delay and all that. Is the dev blog, and then Blank just posted the one to the big global calendar, and then we've got the Blogist, which is a really cool event that somebody decided to start up just because he blogs and he wanted a reason to kind of push his blogging to the next level, and so he's trying to round up as many people who do blogs as possible to do a blog every day, and this one is not particularly 100% gaming related, but some are, some aren't. And you can pop in, just post your blogs. He's going to be doing some giveaways. I think he said he's giving away a game from Steam Wishlist, all sorts of other crap. And that just started 5 days ago, so you can play catch up A-OK. So yeah, that's the big hubbub for Anook this week. There's always stuff going on, so yeah, come by.
Excellent. So, I heard something about pink and charity. And I look to scream.
I'm
not looking at
yes,
you.
Actually, yeah. We may have mentioned this previously in the past. The Guild Wars Pink Day in LA is now looking like it's on the horizon. It is a fairly common event within the Guild Wars 2 community, where a number of people will get together in-game and raise money, usually for well, an event we call Pink Day in LA, which is a charity event. They are starting to plan it, and if you'd like to be involved, the planning meeting is on the 10th of August, and I am just finding the link for it now, because I don't actually have a link right now. You can come back to that one, I'll put it in chat in a minute. No, I really mean it. You can move on with the show. I'll put it in chat in a couple of moments.
You do realize you're all I'm waiting for now.
Well, then wrap the show up. I'll put it in chat in a minute.
Right. Fair enough. That's what we'll do then. Okay. So, thank you to Lonrem. You have been an absolute star. You basically got to sit and watch us yell and scream at each other ever so slightly.
Oh, it was a blast.
You do realize now that I'm going to be picking on you even more about the show. We got you to take a day off of work to be with us, man.
Yeah, the day job, not
Really?
a Nook.
Not a Nook, no. No, he took the day off from work to be able to be with us. That was very loving.
I did some other errands.
Yeah, you basically scheduled it in such a manner that you could join us. And honestly, I appreciate it and I thank you. It's lovely to have people on, especially when they wear awesome hats like what you're wearing.
Which has been getting hot, so I'm going to take it off.
That's
Since
fine.
everybody else took their hats off.
Blank seems to be muted.
Blank is talking to himself.
Ah, that's fine. We don't need to hear him anyway.
Poor Blank.
I just said hats are hot. That's all. Hats are hot. I wear my hat on stream, and I'm like, I'm hot. And people are like, take your hat off. And I'm like, I'm the Viking King. I can't take my bleeping hat off.
Yes, you can.
You gotta man through it, you Viking, you.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. And to you, Screen and Blank, again, you guys are absolutely joy. And I want to, in a public setting, in a very serious note, thank you guys so much for being able to take care of things the past couple of weeks with me being injured. And it is a joy to watch you guys argue. It is also a joy to argue with you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because honestly, I could not have done it. And you guys did it for me. So thank you.
Just wanna let you know before we leave that you got bit by the badass bug. The badass bug. That's all it is. You just gotta get bit by it once, and then it just starts taking over. And then it's like when you're like, I'm gonna bench press this, and you're like, I can't do that, and then you watch like somebody do it, and you're like, I could totally do that. And even if they don't do it the next time, they keep trying. And that is the badass bug. You can call it whatever you want. The pink fluffy foofiness. I don't care. As soon as you get it, just a little beep. That's it. Game over for you. Because you're going to keep trying over and over and over again.
If that's the case, I've had it since I was a kid, but it never really went anywhere. But that's beside the point, and we'll get into that some other day and some other discussion. Right, folks, please be aware the blizzard forecast tomorrow is canceled. Please be aware that tomorrow, during the time that the blizzard forecast will be going on, MMOBuff will be streaming Hearthstone, in particular Curse of Naxxramas, and Heroes of the Storm. So, if people, I look at Blank, maybe wants to challenge him and kick his butt, I would pay you slyly under the table in a public setting if you were to challenge him and win.
It's a thing. Hearthstone.
Internet knuckle bums.
Boom.
Excellent. Fantastic. And of course, the thing, because I have to throw it in there.
What are these? They're not elf penises.
If you don't get that joke, you need to go back and watch some of our previous shows. Poor Poor Lonrem. And yes, if for those of you who are interested, we have a new host for the data mine who is joining us while Danny is taking a break. Chris will be there. This lovely individual, Adam Sawkins, will be there from Forgecraft Evolved. And we're actually going to be digging into game development and when not to include Oculus Rift VR and just how much of a pain it can be to actually implement a game well and put it in. Because it's the independent development show, The Data Mine. That's Thursday. Friday may or may not occur depending upon my back. So be aware of the fact that unfortunately Friday is in flex. This Saturday's top draw is...
Flex?
You keep on flexing your guns for all them ladies. Go
Flex. 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 Okay, good. Can we just go? We gotta say goodbye. We gotta say goodbye. Tell them stuff on the off. Hey, there's an offline page. That's where the shows are. Read it if you can read it. If you can't take a picture, give it to a buddy who speaks English.
What I was going to say is that top draw is moving to YouTube. So
Like forever?
we're going to put it on YouTube, not stream it. Yes.
Forever. Bye.
Forever.
Top draw.
Oh, are you kidding me? The amount of... I'll be blunt with you. The amount of people who actually watch it on YouTube is insane. They want it in that setting. So I'm like, all right, I will take a Saturday and not do that. I'll do something else. Unfortunately,
you should probably put it where people
Nook.
want it. You should probably put it where people want it.
I really want to smack you right now so much. I really, really do.
I think that's just a blank space thing.
Yeah, it is a blank space thing. But anyway, on that note, I love you guys. Hearts. Screen, do we have a guest while you are away at Gamescom?
We will have a guest, but we shall announce it a little later on. I've got it all pinned down, but I'm going to keep you all hanging for a little bit.
Fantastic. And we've got guests coming up all up. And the last thing to tell you as I go to set us off and the show, remember, this September is our 1-year anniversary here at MMO Buff. It is going to be full of swag. It is going to be full of changes. And hey, all I can do is thank you guys. From the bottom of my heart. Will you stop flirting with our viewers?
I'm just standing here with this camera. The longer the show goes on. The longer this goes on.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for Saturday.
See you next week.